Now I've gave up the beautiful shadows on the walls, but I've only used one kind, which is number 7, and make how many? One, two, three, four. Well, let's get into the top view, and you can see 8. I've made 8 number 7 spotlights, and that's the rendering that I got from this, and I think it's quite realistic. So look at the GI. It's helping me to create the indirect illumination without the help of any ambient light. But if I insist on a spot, that's what it's gonna give me, and that's good enough, because it's not necessarily a beautiful rendering, but it's supposed to be a physically accurate rendering, and that's the best result we can get to simulate. If we don't like it, we just go change it, and that's the whole process. That's the whole purpose. Since we have this room and this setting here, why not carry on to making all the ambient lights that we need to create a final render. So this part is going to be totally different. So we've used artificial lights. Okay, let me get back to here. V-Ray plane through V-Ray IES now, and the last, well, this is just a fake ambient overall, so it would be like default light. Okay, so skip that, and I'm gonna do a V-Ray sun now. So say this is in the daytime, so it's not in the evening, not at night. So then we will have some natural sunlight shining through. Okay, just click drag. So when you click, is the sun, the light source, and then direction. So see, the sun is way bigger. I mean, in the physical world, the sun is way bigger than the earth. So all the lights are coming onto the surface of the earth, they are all in parallel, and the only thing that matters is actually the direction. So many engines or many 3D software that does lighting refers it to directional light or direction light. Okay, so because the light source doesn't matter, it's always so big, and all the lights are all coming through in parallel direction, and scale or range or power intensity doesn't matter. It's always the brightest light source we can get. So the only thing matter that was left is direction. That's why it's called direction light, and you control that by moving the positions of the dummy of the target here, and that's where you want the light source coming from, the direction. Okay, this could be done in a lot of ways, but the simplest is just putting the relative positions between the two nodes, the light source, the sun, and the target. Now it pops with a question: would you like to automatically add a V-Ray sky environment map? I usually do yes. That saves the hassle of introducing a skylight or ambient light or dome light, that kind of thing, and it saves the rendering time big time. So that's the easiest and most popular way of going about doing a V-Ray sun. And the second step I would do is trying to mimic any time of the day. Say this is like late afternoon, it will be so far out to the horizon, and it really depends on where your building is positioned, your flats or your units, the space, and that will give you the direction. I save the trouble of pulling the target inside of the building, because like I said before, the direction is the only thing that matters. The positions are only relatives and means of getting to the direction that we wanted to put it. So where to put it doesn't make any difference, as long as the relative direction is correct. Doesn't matter. I can put it here, same result, here, same result, up, same result, down. So it doesn't matter. Any way that suits you or makes it easier for you to tweak and play with numbers or direction, that would be fine. And how far away doesn't matter. And do a test render to see what happens to the scene. So you can see now it's too bright, even just by looking at the cow face of the light cache. And voila, overexposed. Okay, so that's the problem we trying to get to. Now we're not in the position of changing the multiplier, the intensity of the sun. At least the logic goes like that. And what I would turn to in the first place is rendering environment. So that's your number 8. And maybe I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, I could do like V-Ray exposure control. And since I don't have any reference value, so I'm gonna leave at 0.0 EV and see how that gives me the true texture or effects of all my materials and lighting and even global illumination. Well, remember I have quite a low quality of setting of render setup here. Medium value of, let me show you, medium value of irradiance map. Okay, light cache is 300. I really am a chipstick here, but I've still got a decent image because the shadows is not that much with such a bright sunlight coming shining through, and then like bounces all the way like everywhere in all directions. So really light up the space. You can still see my spots on the floor, but well, of course I haven't built models for the light source, so then you don't see the light source, the spots, the spotlights, but the light effect is still there. So it's pretty much it for daytime rendering compared to what we had earlier with only artificial lights. Okay, so we're looking at many possibilities here. If you want to play around, you could fake a sun instead of using the V-Ray sun. You could just stick like a V-Ray plane light through the window and then change its color, obviously, and turns it into a cityscape, urban kind of evening, and then complement with your IES still on artificially inside the space. So go experiment with that. But here's a little example of what you could do with an IES and a space that has a window but still counts as an interior.